Hi, Adenike, can you hear me?
Yes, Ajono, I can hear you.
Okay, I thought Israel was speaking, so I wasn't quite sure. Catherine. Hello, Razak. Good evening. Where are you joining us from? What do you do? And what's happening? What's happening this Saturday evening? Oh, okay. Olarewaju from Lagos, Nigeria. Oluwadayomisi is joining from Ogun State. Adenike is joining from Port Harcourt. Thank you, Folusha. Jibola is joining from Lagos. Hello, Jibola. Thank you, thank you. Folusha is joining from Lokoja. Razak is joining from Belgium. Thank you for joining us. Catherine is joining from Lagos. Nice. Thank you so much for joining us. What do you do? Israel from Lagos. Good to know. Fantastic. So, what assortment of people do we have here? Do we have tech people? Do we have entrepreneurs, digital marketers? Or you just want to launch your idea and then you're using this to test it out, because that's what no code development is all about. You have your idea and you want to test it out. So from idea to market. So who has an idea right now? Who is ready for the market? Who is ready to give it their all? If you're in tech, please let us know. If you're not in tech, please drop it in the chat room. Waiting to hear from you. Who is an entrepreneur? Who is a business owner? Who just wants to start and test their ideas with the no code app development? All right. While I'm waiting for our responses, I will introduce Techlytics to us. Wow. Front-end developer in a crypto company. Fantastic. Yeah. So you are the person we are waiting for on this call. Great to know this. All right, can you see my screen, please? Good to know, Jibola. Product designer and undergraduate. Fantastic. This is fantastic. Yes, we need product designers. For you don't just not just to build the products. You also have to make it. The UI has to be one that resonates with users. So yes, a product designer. Can you see my screen, please? Right. So today's episode of Bits and Bytes. Bits and Bytes is It's an engaging and enlightening monthly session set by seasoned professionals such as myself and our host for today, David. David is a no-code app developer. The series delves into the world of technology as it decodes complex concepts. It explores cutting-edge trends, and we also offer insights in artificial intelligence, data science, data analytics, data engineering, software product management, and documentation. We also, of course, under documentation, we have user research. So we do all that. And no code software development. So which is, the series where we're having this session today. Okay, Israel saying he's just a beginner. All right. Right. So with the evolution of work, especially in the wake of COVID-19, there's been a change in the way we work, where we work, and what work we do. Some skills have actually become, would I say extinct? Maybe on their way to being extinct. Okay, so there's been a change to the work that we do. There's been an increased trend in the demand for new skills, technical and non-technical skills to fulfill emerging roles. There's this data that, like almost like 500 or so, skills will be lost by 2050 or thereabouts. I'm not quite sure of the data, but of course, there's been, there are emerging roles, and then some roles are actually going extinct in today's workplace. So that's just the way it is. Now, the skills that employers value and rely upon are changing. In turn, a skills gap has developed in which employers struggle to hire appropriately trained workers. So we have different roles. And the people to fill them are not there. Okay. Now, what Techlytics has come in to do is provide on-demand online courses to equip young professionals with necessary skills to integrate and succeed in technical and non-technical roles in the workplace. This is achieved in partnership with other practicing professionals such as David to provide best-in-class course content for the global market. So what you're doing now is something that is actually, in demand on the global market. I'm sure David will tell us more about this. All right, Techlytics is a technology firm committed to driving digital transformation across industries. We have 3 core business portfolios spanning EdTech, tech consulting, and energy tech. Under the EdTech, we are driving Africa's growth by equipping the workforce with critical skills in data, product management, and no-code software development. We adopt a blended model of quarterly cohort-based training, and we practice driven. We have virtual simulation labs such as pulse.techlytics.africa and live project implementation approach, so that we can reinforce learning concepts. So whatever it is that you learn here, there we have, simulation labs where you can practice. We also have project implementation, so that the learning is reinforced. Under the tech consulting, we focus on deploying technology-driven solutions. We optimize processes, and we implement projects to modernize operations across various industries. We also double as training lab for EdTech businesses when graduates intern. So whatever we do at the EdTech aspect, some of it, some of our graduates go over to the tech consulting part and practice there. Techlytics as a consulting company offers tech consulting to startup and enterprises alike on digital transformation. We have worked with many brands in digital marketing. we have worked with the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Leadway Assurance, Gasco Marine, Nigerian Employers Consultative, Authority, and many more. Our traction. Formerly, we were known as the Rainmaker Online. With Techlity started as a YouTube channel in 2020, and we officially launched in February 25th, 2022. And since then, we have had so much, more than 778 signups, more than 103 lecture completions, course completions. We have more than 111 active students, and more YouTube subscribers. So today let me talk about David very briefly before we dive into this. David is a passionate innovator dedicated to driving sustainable growth for small and mid-sized businesses. He has a deep understanding of challenges associated with scaling, especially in resource-constrained environments. He focuses on helping business owners leverage affordable tech solutions to achieve their goals. He is the founder of No Code Africa, and he has empowered early-stage African startup founders to build mobile and web applications without the need for coding. His initiative is grounded in the belief that everyone should have access to the tools and knowledge required to transform their ideas into reality quickly and cost-effectively. Through mentorship, practical training, and unwavering support, David has guided over 100 startup founders in creating their minimum viable products, which we know as the MVP, and launching their businesses, fostering innovation and growth across the continent. So today's program is from idea to App Store, launching market-ready mobile apps. I guess we're all ready, and we can't wait. So welcome, David. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me. Okay, so I'm going to start real quick. I don't have a presentation. I'm just going to talk, and then I will make a few, should I say presentation? I'll just share my screen at some point. Yes.
All right, that's fine.
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to say thank you to Techlytics Africa for inviting me to come talk about from idea to App Store, launching market-ready apps with no code. Okay, so well, for me, I'm more like a storyteller, and so I will just tell you about myself real quick. I studied chemical engineering at the University of Uyo, Nigeria, and after the mandatory National Youth Service Corps program, which I did in 2017, 2018, I tried getting a job, as a chemical engineer, but that didn't really work out well. I couldn't get a job. That's what I mean. So even with my second class upper degree, so I had to pivot to entrepreneurship. I started, trying to see how I can turn my ideas into, profitable ventures. At least I tried. so I tried doing that, and then from there I discovered that it's actually very exciting to be an entrepreneur. It's actually very exciting to, have ideas that you think about and then you bring about one way or the other. So now I'm saying this because I want to find ways to connect my experience with the topic today, and also see how I can inspire a couple of persons here to also kickstart or just keep building what they're building. So I found myself, just building ideas, trying to see how I can turn my ideas into mobile applications, web applications. But as at that time, I wasn't really a developer. I couldn't write codes. I didn't really have background in programming. So although I did very basic programming in engineering, so I always, had to reach out to developers, to help build, turn my idea into a website or a mobile application. And of course, this wasn't free. I had to take loans a lot of times. to pay the traditional developers to turn my ideas to, to an MVP, So I did this a couple of times. I launched a particular software in 2018. I actually launched first in 2017, Rocky Shelf, and then it was more like an online directory for downloading study materials for university students. Yeah, so I did that, then it crashed at some point. Then I did another one. That's the EOSpace website to help people share electricity and space, which we finally pivoted to being a co-working space business in the city of Uyo, Nigeria. So now I just always found myself hiring, trying to see how I can raise money to hire developers to, build an app for me. And it was a very tedious process because the ideas don't really matter anyways. The apps don't equally matter too much too. Now, what really matters is actually the execution. And so I always ended up, being able to raise money and then paying these developers to turn my idea into a mobile or web application. And then from there, I launched it out, and most of the ideas didn't work out. And so I lost money in the process, of course. Yeah, so but exactly a learning curve for me. It was a learning curve, still a learning curve for me. So now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because I'm trying to see how I can connect it to what we are talking about today, from idea to app store, launching market ready apps with no code. Why no code and all of that? So I will try to give like a well detailed lecture. We just try to make it theoretical. Then at some point we will see how we can, look at the platforms that can actually help you build mobile apps without coding. Now, the reason why the no-code technology is actually a very powerful trend is because here in Africa there's a lot of gap between investors and startup founders. Yeah, so it's actually very difficult to actually raise money as a startup founder. So it's always best that you know how to build your application or have someone in your team that can actually build your application at low cost, so that your time to market can actually be shortened and you can start building and testing your idea real quick. The whole idea of no code, I discovered it in Russia when I was doing my second master's program, master's in technological entrepreneurship at Innopolis University. So it was just mandatory, of course, all courses were mandatory. Okay, there was time we did some electives, yeah. So as a startup founder, it is very important for you to, know how to build your own MVP, right? In as much as, yes, you're going to be the business person in the team, yeah, you should also have the skills to build your MVP. And so I was taught how to use Flutter, write codes to build your MVP with Flutter and Google Darts. And then I was also taught how to, use no-code instruments like a Dalo, Bubble, Airtable to actually build something tangible, at least an MVP for your idea. So that was how I got into the world of no-code, and so far no-code actually changed my life. I'm actually enjoying the experience of being a no-code developer, someone who is actively using no-code to build a reasonable softwares, and also teaching other people how to do so. So yeah, that's the reason for no code. No code helps you to not really try to go take a loan from a company to build an idea you're not really sure might work or not. So it actually helps you, build up your MVP real quick and test your idea. It shortens the go to market time, the time to market, and it like makes things really easy for everyone. Okay, so from idea to app store, launching market ready apps with no code. What is no-code development? So basically, no-code development is building apps without writing a single line of code. All right, and most times when you hear, no-code developers or people say building apps without writing a single line of code, well, that's what no-code entails. But when you're trying to build an application, right, there will always be times where you might need to just include a custom function somewhere, a custom widget somewhere, custom action somewhere, which requires some form of code. But this is actually very easy because you can always get those codes from, trying to like use ChatGPT to get those codes. Yeah, so no code development means building apps without writing a single line of code. That's without coding. And then the platforms offer intuitive drag. That's the no-code development platforms. They offer intuitive drag and drop tools for designing, building, and deploying your applications. So you might be wondering why do we need to use no code? So well, I believe that you already have an idea, but if you don't, so the idea for no code is because it saves times and money, and then it also helps you to democratize app development, enabling anyone to build apps. So just makes it possible for just anybody to, build an application for their business. All right. So it's also ideal for entrepreneurs, students, and small businesses. So the next part here is the journey from our idea to app store, really. So for you to, build your application, right? Let's say from idea to app store, the very first thing you just need to do real quick is you need to try to identify the problem and then try to find a way to validate your solution. So you build the MVP, which is going to be your solution, and then you get to find a way to validate it. 1 second, please. Can you hear me? Please, can you hear me? I just need to be sure that I can be heard.
No, I can hear you.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, so what I was saying is that okay, I talked about why no code. I talked about the fact that it saves times and money. It helps you, it helps in democratizing app development, enabling anybody to build apps, and then it's also ideal for entrepreneurs, students, and small businesses. So the journey from idea to app store, it involves, defining the idea first, which involves, identifying a problem and validating your solution with your MVP, and then conducting a market research to understand your target audience. So now it looks like we're like the way I'm saying it right now looks like I'm trying to put a cart before the horse. Yeah. So I'm trying to say conduct market research, then identify a problem. No. So the idea is identify a problem and then conduct a market research to understand your target audience. From there, you begin, you get those data from your audience, and then it will allow you to know exactly what to build, what kind of MVP your target audience will want to use. Then from there, you can start using no code to, launch that. So in the process of interviewing your audience, conducting your market research, you can begin planning your features. You can break down your idea into core functionalities, and then you start building your minimum viable product. The next stage here, after you've planned your features, is to, choose a no code tool. You just have to select a platform that suits your app's needs, mobile, web, or both, right? And then design with the platform, test and iterate, then you publish it to App Store. So real quick, the tools for no code development, I would just list them real quick, right? So we have for designing, we have Figma, and then we have Adobe XD. That's for designing your user interface. That's your user interface, well, UI UX, so you get to use Figma or Adobe XD to create your the interface for your application. And then for the no code platforms that you're going to use, is just going to be Flutterflow or Bubble or Thunkable, anyone that works for you. So but I highly recommend Flutterflow. And while you're building with Flutterflow, you need to understand that it also allows you to, you'll be building for Android, iOS, and then web apps, using just drag and drop tools. Then we have the workflow automation. This particular one involves, trying to see how you can automate your work processes within your application. You can still use just Flutterflow to do that. And you can also use tools like Zapier or Make. It was formerly called Integromat. So you can use that to create your automation. And then for your storage, which is more like backend as a service, you can use tools like Xano. You can use Supabase. You can use Firebase too. Uh, so I think I've talked about this before, but benefits of no code tools. So speed, launch apps in weeks, not months. Cost effectiveness, very cost effective. It helps you to reduce the hiring and infrastructure cost. Then accessibility, you don't need to program at all. Then flexibility, you can always like change features in your application real quick. You can quickly adapt to market feedback. You can easily build a feature that your customers gave you today. You can build it and launch it tomorrow. Yeah. So I think that's about it. And then challenges in no code development. Well, customization limitations. Well, depending on the kind of features that you want to build in your application, advanced features may require code at some point. But the future of no code development is to actually help you to build every single thing without having to write codes. The next thing here is scalability issues. I'm talking about the challenges now. Some tools are better suited for smaller projects, while some are actually suited for larger ones. So, but I highly recommend Flow for both small, small projects and very big projects too. Then the learning curve, as a startup founder or as a student or small business owner, you'll find it very interesting to learn how to use Flow to build your application. You'll be quite excited about the whole learning curve that it gives to you. And just before I summarize, so we have the tips for success is basically to start small. You need to just find a way to focus on building your MVP first. You need to leverage on communities, join forums like the Flow community or even No Code Africa community on Telegram. Try to get a lot of users to test your application frequently, and then plan for scaling. Yeah. So now let me just see if I can share my screen real quick. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna share my entire screen real quick. And so here we have Flow, right? This is the instrument that I recommend. So this is Flow. Flow will help you build better, launch faster, right? I happen to be an ambassador, so yeah, I will always like promote Flow as much as I can. Yeah, because apart from just being an ambassador, Flow changed my life. Yeah, I recently finished my master's program in Russia, where I actually finished with a first-class degree by God's grace. But in as much as I'm excited about the experience I had in Russia, and also graduating with with a first class, the number one thing that I'm super proud of is the fact that I got exposed to Flow and no code development, because it changed my life. By changing my life, I mean it also changed my finances. Yeah, it actually helped me have the skill to turn any idea, my idea, client's ideas, into a mobile application or a web application real quick. And that's how I started freelancing on Upwork and then generating revenue for my startup. So yeah, I recommend that you get to use Flow, because with it you can, of course, what you see here is the truth, build UI and logic visually. It's one of the best platforms actually that you can actually use in building your application. It's really easy. You can just create an account for free and start using the platform. So you can always if you want to really know more about Flow, apart from just learning how to use it, you can come here and check out the customer stories. So on the customer stories, you see customers in healthcare, logistics, and AI. All right, so we have like lots of platforms here, right? Lots of platforms, so you can check them out. All these platforms build their technology, their software using Flow. And we're looking at very, very big companies, multi-million-dollar companies using Flow to build their technology. So you can come here and get inspired with other customer stories. And of course, you can sign up and start using the platform. There are other no code instruments like Adalo. There's Adalo.com, I think. Yes, there's Adalo, and there is Bubble.io. I don't know why this is not loading real quick. So there is Bubble.io, and there is Framer.io. That's just for website and all of that. But the one I really recommend to you is using Flow. All right. So I think I'll stop sharing. and then I will try to I'll try to summarize here. So conclusion, no-code tools makes it possible for anyone to turn ideas into reality. With platforms like Flutterflow, Bubble, and Firebase, you can launch your app faster and cheaper. You don't need to wait for the perfect time. You can start building today. I mean, like today for real. You can just go to, if you have an idea, you can just go to Figma community and then get like a free UI UX design, and then you can build your projects from there with those designs using Flutterflow. And then after that, you can, begin doing something really tangible with your skills, like freelancing on Upwork and helping other startup founders build their applications too. So I don't know, maybe during question time I will get to hear more persons asking questions, but if you want to learn how to use Flutterflow, how to build apps without coding, I have a YouTube channel called No Code Africa, where you can actually get to learn how to build an application without writing a single line of code. There are like tons of tutorials for free you can use in learning and building really fast. So I think that will be all from me. And thank you very much to Techlytics Africa for the opportunity to speak here. Thank you very much. I will take the questions now. Yeah.
Thank you so much, David. That was an insightful session. Okay, I only have one question here. Can you say the automation tool again? You mentioned an automation tool. Sorry.
If I listened correctly, when he was mentioning the automation tool, that would be Zapier.
Okay. Can you hear? Tayo, can
David,
you
are
hear
you
me?
back now? Yes,
Yes.
Abiodun, I can hear you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I said Zapier and Make. Make is MAKE. Yeah. It was formerly called Integromat.
All right. Okay, so I was going to, while we're still, let me check the chat room for other questions. Yeah. Okay, while we're waiting for other questions, let's
Kingsley's hand is
go
up.
over the process to, from that
Kingsley's hand
idea
is
that
up.
I have. Someone's on.
Sorry, I didn't get
Abiodun,
what
can
you
you
said.
hear us?
Tayo. Hello.
There's a raised hand in the chat room.
Okay. Kingsley, I'll unmute you now and allow you to talk. Kingsley, let's have your question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My question is, with the whole no code trend, like, once you learn it and everything, how can okay, well, I came late. Well, probably he might have said it, but how can you make money from it, and how can you get clients that can patronize you for you to build projects? And yes, and another question too, sorry. What kind of projects can you build like that doesn't exist probably with no code? Oh, that's my question.
Okay, so for the second one, the second question, right? You can build anything, like for real. You can build anything using no code, really. Yeah, as far as you can imagine it, you can build it using no code. Yeah, the only thing is that you need to learn how to use each of these platforms first. Yeah, for you to be able to build it. Yeah, so the idea is you have an idea, you go to you choose a particular no code instrument, for instance, Flutterflow. You learn how to use Flutterflow, and then you build your application there. Then for your first question, you can always get jobs from Upwork and Fiverr and any other freelancing platforms. You will always see clients that want to hire no code developers. They might just say they want to hire someone who is good with Bubble, someone who is good with Flutterflow, someone who is good with Framer. Yeah, so there are lots of jobs there. You can always search for jobs on Upwork. And then also as a no-code developer, it doesn't mean that you can just limit yourself as just a no-code developer. You can always like begin positioning yourself as a complete developer, for instance, or should I say traditional developer, because like platforms like Flutterflow is not built for just no-code developers. It's actually built for traditional developers as well. So you can push your code to GitHub repository, you can do API calls, you can just do amazing things using the platform. So yes, it's not just for just no code developers, it's for everyone, making things like really easy for everyone. Yeah.
Okay. Kingsley, did you get that?
Yeah, I did.
All right. Any other question? While we're waiting for other questions, can you like go over the the first person? Olabode. Olabode, let's have your question. Olabode, can you hear me? Let's have your question.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for the class. Thank you so much. It was quite interesting. So I want to ask for an existing product that was built with normal traditional way of building and have front end, back end, and so. Can someone use, if you have the Figma file, the high fidelity prototype, can someone use no code to build it? Will it affect the former product, or I just want to know?
Okay, if I understand you clearly, you're asking if at all you already have like a Figma design, because a Figma design is not an application. It's just a UI of an application you want to build. You're asking if at all you have the UI on Figma, if you can convert it to an application on Flutterflow. Yes, you can, or maybe you can use it on any other no code instrument. Yes, and if at all
So,
you already have like an existing application, right?
okay.
And you want to now use no code to do it, you have to just start building the application from scratch using no code. But now, if at all the application was formerly built with Flutter, Flutter, you can actually upload the codes on Flutterflow and then continue building from there. Because Flutterflow allows you to build your application on the platform, and then you can download the codes, even run it on VS Code. You can deploy it anywhere. In fact, the main idea about Flutterflow is they want you to own your code. So you should be able to take your code anywhere and use it. So if at all you already have an application that is existing somewhere else, but it was built with Flutter, Google that programming language, then yes, you can use it in Flutterflow and continue building it there. But if it was built with another kind of application, that's not really possible. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Is there any other question? Well, Alpha, your hand is still up. Kingsley, do you have another question? All right.
Okay, my question is, do you have like a personal course to use, like we can use to follow up the Flutter Flow? Because sometimes YouTube can be, a bit scattered. Like you don't really get all from it. Like, do you have a personal course that you made that probably you would want to sell to us, or I don't know, or like a channel, like a go-to channel on YouTube that we know that okay, if you have a problem, or if a beginner wants to learn how to use Flutter Flow, the person can go to use. So yeah, that's my question.
Okay. Yes, I have something like that, but like I have courses on Udemy. I have courses on Udemy that will teach you how to build, apps without coding. I also have courses, of course, the ones on Udemy, they're not free. I also have courses on YouTube where you can just learn all of these things for free too. Yeah, so you can, go to the YouTube channel, and then that's the No Code Africa YouTube channel, and just try to, use the courses there to learn. Yeah. With permission from Techlytics, I could share a link if that's okay.
Share your link.
Is it okay to share a link?
You can share your link. Yes.
Okay. So how do I share that here? Do I put it on the chats for all?
You have
Okay.
yes,
Here's
you can put it in the
okay.
chat section.
Okay. All right.
All right. If that's all, that's all. If you still have questions, please drop it in the chat section. Thank you so much, David. This was an insightful session, and I'm sure I think it was Israel that said he has an idea and he wants to he wants to develop that idea. So I'm sure Israel has had some insights into what he wants to do now. Israel, are you still here? All right. So Techlytics is launching a no-code app development course next year. So of course, you can become a mobile app developer in 3 months. You can also, as an entrepreneur, or you have that idea, like Israel was saying that he has this idea and he wants to build an MVP. So this is what the course is for: acquire monetization skills. Like David discussed, that okay, when you get this trading, when you really build the idea and you launch, then you can say you can build for other people, and you can develop yourself more, then start getting work on Fiverr, Upwork, and other freelance websites. So you acquire monetization skills that way. And also, well, if that's not the way you want to go, you just want to test your idea, which is equally fine. So you have this idea, you want to test it, see how the market is going to be. So the first thing David mentioned was that okay, get that idea first. When you've gotten that idea, do research on that idea, and then build. So you build and deploy functional apps through this course on the App Store or on the Play Store. And then with this course comes a free 1-year domain name and hosting. We have a free 1-year domain name and hosting when you register for this course. It starts on January 25th, 2025. So you register at nocode.techlytics.africa. To get there, all details. Early bird registration applies. You have 10% off when you register before December 17th. When you register before December 17th, you have 10% off. So it applies once you click that. You can apply. If you have any issues, you can contact us on our Instagram or on our Instagram page. You can also send an email to hello@techlytics.africa. hello@techlytics.africa. And Techlytics has other courses. So we are using Flutter Flow. Well, we also have building a website. Sorry, you can learn how to build your website using WordPress. So build an e-commerce website, using WordPress. We are partnering with Go54 to get a subsidized cloud hosting for all participants of the course. So of course, this one too, you get 1 year free domain hosting. So this also starts on January 25th. You have 10% off when you pay before December 17th. Some other courses: data analytics, data governance, data science. We have data engineering. We have our software product management courses like product analytics, research methodologies. We have agile product management. We have the no-code mobile app development with Flutter Flow, web app development with WordPress. So follow us on techlytics.africa. Follow us on our Instagram page to know more about the courses that we have and the start date. Thank you so much. David, any closing remarks? Okay, let me check. I think we have more questions. Okay, so to send an email to know more about what we're doing, support@techlytics.africa, and then the link for the no-code development is nocode.techlytics.africa. All right. David also dropped a link. Yes, he also dropped a link to his YouTube channel. So please follow him on all his social media pages. His name is David Orok. And David, do you have any last, not last word now, any other remarks? Hi, David, are you there? Hi, Tayo.
David has left.
Oh,
Yeah, we can close the meeting.
okay. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Felicia. Felicia has been here from the beginning. Thank you, Kingsley. Thank you, Israel. I hope that answered your question. Oluwadayomisi, thank you so much for joining us. Olabode, Bola, Obina, thank you so much. Once again, you can follow us on all our social media pages, Techlytics on Instagram, LinkedIn. On YouTube, you can watch the replay. The replay will be up on YouTube. So thank you so much. Do have a wonderful Saturday.